everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. I hope you stick around. Today's art vlog, I'm focusing on a scene study I did over spring break, and then later on I'm working on another project related to one of my school art assignments. Also, as a side note, I apologize for the sunlight hitting the camera weird. This was my first time filming from this angle, and I didn't realize that the sun would be hitting it that way at the time of day. Whoops, bear with it. It gets better later in the video when the sun slowly starts to go down. Anyway, back to the video. I've been wanting to do a scene study as I've seen lots of YouTubers that I enjoy doing them. It just looks really fun. And on Pinterest, I've seen so many Doctor Who scene studies that people have done in watercolor. Plus, I feel as though I spend most of my art either just picking out the figure and really focusing on that, or I'm cropping and changing the background completely. To force myself to have to paint the whole picture would also give me way different things to practice painting as well. So I went back to the season with the 9th Doctor and found that really nice scene with him and Rose looking out the window. That's in the second episode. Figured I might as well start easy on myself, not have to paint any faces, just their backs, which still proved to be a bit of a challenge. This is actually the second page in this particular watercolor journal. I bought this about 2 years ago because it was on sale, and you can never have too many sketchbooks. And I just hadn't used it because a friend gave me another one, so I started using that one. And it was just so big and beautiful looking, I was kind of afraid to just use it. I was afraid I'd ruin it. Finally, I just took the plunge and decided, you know what? I'm going to use this. Not everything has to be perfect. It's called, a sketchbook for a reason. Things, they're supposed to be sketchy and messy. I like to test my colors, my gouache colors, before putting them on so I can make sure they're the right color. So I wanted to make the scene itself a little bit smaller than the actual page in the book. At the time of painting this, I was currently on my spring break and was making the most of it. I love my art classes, don't get me wrong, but sometimes, you just want to paint what you want to paint in all by yourself, just in your own space, and you don't have to worry about the teacher assigning you something you don't like, because that's always not fun when you're really not invested in what you're having to do. So the process of painting this scene was almost like a roller coaster. I started it in the afternoon, sketched it all out, put the washi tape on, and just began going in with colors. Was really enjoying it. And then I ran into a few problems, especially with Rose there on the right. Had issues because they're kind of backlit, so the lighting was looking weird, but I was having trouble getting that effect. But I will say I am very happy with how 9 turned out. Like his jacket, it just really made me happy doing all those dark shades on there. I incorporated some green too into him, a little more of a green olive look in parts of his jacket. That was really fun. I'm still pretty new to working with gouache. Last semester for our color theory class, we had to work completely in it, but this semester we haven't been working with gouache at all in my classes, so I'm pretty rusty, still getting the hang of it, but this really helped sharpen up my skills again, and I know I'll be getting better as we're about to start using gouache again in one of my classes, and just getting back into the swing of things is always a little hard. All in all, I really enjoyed doing this scene study, and I can't wait to do another one. Before I begin this next painting, I would like to introduce my new art studio buddies, Poirot and Hastings. They are my turtle friends, and let's give them a round of applause for how hard they worked. helping me out with this painting. I could not have done it without them. I got them as a late birthday present from one of my friends, and they're pretty cool. The little guy, Hastings, he used to hold my paintbrush when I'm not using it, and that was very nice. No longer am I getting nice muddy streaks on my desk. Originally, I'd planned on using the big turtle as the palette the entire time. However, I needed more space, so I did break out my old palette towards the end, but I did like being able to put the white and black gouache in there, and then I didn't have to worry about accidentally muddying up the colors in my big set of gouache. I could just go straight in, and if it got a little black in it, it didn't really matter because it wasn't mixing with the whole huge little jello cup looking thing. So this painting, I started it in class in response to our latest assignment, which was the third part of an assignment. The first two paintings, one of them we had to use very light values of black and white, and then the other painting we used the dark values of black and white, and now we're doing the third one where we get to use all the values. So I thought I would try my hand at some more portraits. I always seem to come back to the portraits to try and improve on them. I was scrolling through Pinterest, looking for people. Normally it's people that I've seen in shows or something, something that interests you, at least for me. Some people, especially some of my classmates, when they're normally drawing, I should say painting, drawing as well, but painting a person, a lot of times it's just a reference they found on Pinterest, and most of the time it's like a model or something, or a picture that's been taken specifically for that. And that's good for them, like it's what makes them happy, but I think I wouldn't be able to stand it not having any connection. That's why I like to draw things from like shows I watch or something from a book, or just it's a lot of fan art. However, if I'm doing nature or something, yeah, I'm gonna be doing more of like random stuff that I don't have as much a connection to improve. But with like people, I want them to have like a connection to me that makes it interesting. Otherwise, I just have no motivation to do it. When I go through my sketchbooks and I look at things, the people that I've either seen in shows or movies or that I know personally, those are almost always better or at least finished. So back to this reference photo. This was a picture of the Fourth Doctor from Classic Who that I found, and it was in black and white, which was perfect because then I could just go straight to looking at values. I didn't have to worry about trying to transcribe the color. It made it a lot easier for me, and I was like, okay, cool, let's do this. So I sketched it all out and just started painting and adding the layers. I will have to say, I think I went too thick, too fast, which seems to sort of be my problem. I'm not used to painting on mixed media paper as much because I normally like to do my gouache on watercolor paper and do thinner layers. But, I'm doing tons of gouache stuff for class now. I can't afford to be using tons of watercolor paper left and right. It's just so expensive. And mixed media paper works pretty fine for these small studies that we're having to do. I'm happy with the result. It buckles a bit, the paper does, but I just stick it in the sketchbook and it's fine. By the time I had just about finished this, I was pretty proud of how it turned out. I decided to cut it out just because I didn't want the class to have to see all of my little paint splotches on the side, and that way I was gonna paste it in the sketchbook later just because I was actually really happy with it. Normally I just leave them kind of loose and floating around, but this one I really didn't want to lose because I enjoyed how it turned out, and it got a pretty good remarks in class, so that was nice. Very enjoyable. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments about gouache or tips that work for you, or perhaps what paper you like to use for your gouache, leave them below. Always love taking tips. Thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to like and subscribe. See you soon.